Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Vito and Stoic, Avi, John, everybody out here. You guys are very funny. It's good. It's good to have like this, right? A little fun. So thank you, Vito, for always, entertaining us and being active. There are a few of us who are active, and I really like that. And I heard that even in other classes, you guys are also active, and it's good. It's good to be active. It's good to engage. So it makes the digital learning even more, fun. So yesterday also, for those people, see, I had already pressed the recording for yesterday, but it seemed the cloud storage was full. So the recording couldn't be processed. After a while, it seemed it stopped. So today we have used a new mail for the Toppers Academy, and yes, so this one I hope and believe that it is working. Till now, we have started the recording. So okay, today will be the last class for us to discuss the MCQs, and then tomorrow, do you guys need a break tomorrow, or we'll take class?
Break.
Acha, who is that?
Sleep.
Break?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Acha. Chalo, we'll have a break tomorrow, okay? Okay, so I wanted to share. Wait, let me put on my AirPods. I think it's a bit noisy. No battery. Okay, so this is what I wanted to share with us all today. Your entire life will change when you realize that anything above zero compounds. Okay, showing up consistently matters more than showing up perfectly. Small things become big things. Never allow optimal to get in the way of beneficial. Many a times what happens is many students, they try to fix a schedule. We try to make a perfect time schedule. 5 o'clock we wake up and everything is very much perfectly planned out, but planning sometimes fails. And sometimes sometimes we might work out the plan as well, but we will be so exhausted at the end of the day. Suppose some people even would make even 10 hours of time schedule, but you will just study one day 10 hours, and the next day you'll be too exhausted that you won't study at all. So instead of that, a little compounding habits, 1 hour also every day, no matter what, 1 hour I'll study. So this will help us. And even if you are not at all wanting to study on Sunday, for example, but then you just think of just studying for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, okay, 15 or 20 minutes of even newspaper for Sunday. So these habits, little habits, will keep compounding. And there are no right decisions. The universe has no fixed agenda. Once you make any decision, it works around that decision. There is no right or wrong, only a series of possibilities that shift with each thought, feeling, and action that you experience. So if you are choosing to work at least for 20 or 30 minutes in a day, deliberately choosing to study, we also talked about delayed gratification that will actually compound, okay? Compound to greater things, okay? We all know about the formula of compound interest. So let us try to follow that. Just wanted to encourage us all with that. So here, okay, we have discussed our MCQ till question number 80, and you all have been very active as well. And you guys know just not the answers relating to the question, but you guys are aware of even the other discussions relating to that particular question we have. And many of you have taken the slides as well. I believe you are all very sincere and attentive to it, and that is very encouraging. Thank you for that. Now, starting off, I want everyone of us to continue to be engaging here. I might even pick some answers as wrong, so I want you to be very vigilant as well. So yes, starting off, we have the first question number 81. According to the Corruption Perceptions Index, CPI, this is not Consumer Price Index, okay? Sometimes we might get confused with the CPI published by the NSS, right? Which country ranks as the least corrupt with the highest score? I believe you have read the reports and indices part as well. Which one? Denmark. Is it Singapore or Denmark?
C. B.
Okay, Denmark. Okay, thank you. So this CPI report, if you have studied, it is published by Transparency International, right? Transparency International. This is an international body, and this report, it basically shows how corrupt people think the government is in different countries. Okay, this report is collected by data collected from individuals, and countries are given scores from 0 to 100. Okay, and 0 means very corrupt, and 100 means clean. So India's ranking here, out of 180 countries, India's ranking came to 96th. Okay, and the score that India scored out of 100 was only how much? It was only 38. Okay, for Denmark, if you see, it is either 96 or 98 they scored. Okay, but India is the 96th country. Oh, it's here also. See, what rank did India achieve in the Corruption Perceptions Index? 96. Even I believe that Nagaland has a lot of contribution here. So, okay, now the Disaster Risk and Resilience Assessment Framework study covered how many telecom towers across 5 Indian states. Here, the answer is 0.77 million, or in our book, it will have been written as 7.7 lakh, right? It will be amounting to 0.77 million, right? So, see, the Disaster Risk and Resilient Assessment Framework, this looks at how strong and safe telecom towers are, right? Telecom towers which will host different internet service providers like the Airtel, Geo, Reliance, or even Idea or so on, or even a certain fixed company can have a single telecom tower of their own. So this report checks how strong these are. Okay, and how they are able to withstand certain disaster like floods or earthquakes. And it checked around this much 7.7 lakh telecom towers in 5 states: in Assam, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Uttarakhand, and Gujarat. Okay. Now, which non-profit organization publishes the Climate Risk Index? Which one? Climate Risk Index, German Watch. Okay, guys, German Watch. So this German Watch is a non-profit organization that is based in Germany, as the name implies. And this index, it studies and ranks countries based on the impacts of extreme weather events, right? Such as storms, floods, and heat waves, and over specific periods. This climate risk index, it also came out in the news recently when we were discussing about the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. So Indus Water Treaty, the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty will gravely affect Pakistan, because the climate risk index, according to this index, Pakistan is also one among the top 10 most vulnerable countries in relation to climate risk. Okay, so the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty will also gravely impact Pakistan. Now, okay, we have, moving on, according to the 2025, which country was the most affected by extreme weather events in the last 3 years? Which one? I hope you have studied the reports and indices. Which one? B? Or is it Dominica or China? Please check once. Is it C, right?
Yes.
85 will be C. Wait, let me also check the answer. Yes, 85 is C, Dominica. So this, when from 1993, just a story, from 1993 to 2022, Dominica is, we know that Dominica is a small island nation in the Caribbean, right? In the Caribbean, this was identified as the country that was most affected by extreme weather events like floods, storms, heat waves, etc., etc. Okay, natural disasters. And this vulnerability of the Dominica in the Caribbean island, this is due to the frequent and intense tropical cyclones that would occur here. And this have caused like severe, significant, how can we say, economic losses, right? And fatalities also. in relation to their population and GDP. Okay, so from 1992 to 2022. Okay, this was the data. So then two decades. Which extreme weather event caused the highest percentage of fatalities? Which weather event killed the most number of people? Which one?
Storms.
Storms, right? Storms. Also in India, if you look at some of the datas, last year, I haven't seen the updated datas, but then it was said that in India, most of the people are killed in India through lightnings, okay? Lightnings. You can cross-check the data, but in the if you look at the data of the last 10 years, okay, most of the people in India has been killed through lightnings. So lightnings is the major natural disaster which has led to highest fatalities in India. So storms here, see. So between this 1993 to 2022, the storms were responsible for the highest percentage of fatalities. Fatalities means people losing their lives. And this resulted from this extreme weather event, that is the storm, right? And it accounted for 35%, okay? 35% of the global total deaths. And these storms, when you're talking about storms, it includes what are like events like hurricanes, cyclones, typhoons, right? All of this. So if you're talking about cyclones or storms, cyclonic storms in the Indian Ocean, right? In the Indian Ocean region, it is called cyclones. Cyclones. In the Atlantic Ocean, if this is the North America, South America, in the Atlantic Ocean, it is called hurricanes. And in the South China Sea, okay, South China Sea and Pacific Ocean, it is known as typhoons. And in Australia, near Australia, it is known as willy willies. Okay. And if I have a question here, cyclones today, does the cyclone spin clockwise or anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere? Anybody?
Anti-clockwise.
Very good. Who was that? Nito or Vito? Correct. The cyclones, they spin anti-clockwise in the northern hemisphere and clockwise in the southern hemisphere. And why is this? What is that force that is causing these cyclones to spin in different directions in the two hemispheres? What is that force called? Anybody?
Coriolis.
Correct. Coriolis force, right? Where the deflection is towards the right in the northern hemisphere and towards the left in the southern hemisphere, leading to the difference in the direction of the cyclones. Okay. What is the projected increase in India's natural gas consumption by 2030 as per India Gas Market Report Outlook 2030? So the
60.
report 60, correct. See, these datas, I don't know. I hope you can remember. As for me, if the question is about these, okay, like remembering datas from 6-7 months back, I will for sure like forget this. So see this report, India Case Market Report. This is published by the International IEA, International Energy Agency only, right? And it says that India's natural gas consumption will be approximately at around 60%, excuse me, by 2030. And this increase would be driven by factors such as what you can say urbanization, right? But because of what increase in population, urbanization will be there, and even industrialization can be a factor, and increased demand in sectors like city gas distribution, power generation, and industry and stuffs like that. Okay. Now, which Indian natural gas basin currently accounts for 25% of the country's total production? Which one? It is the Krishna Godavari Basin, right? Guys?
Yes.
88, please check once. C. 88 is Krishna Godavari Basin. This is located on which coast? Eastern or western coast? Does the Indus and Godavari River flow to the western coast or eastern coast?
Eastern.
Eastern. Correct. It is a eastern. They are eastern coast rivers. And which river in India is known as Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of the South?
Godavari.
Correct. Godavari is known as Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of the South. Which river is the second longest river in India after the Ganga? It is Godavari, right? Godavari is the second longest river in India. Okay, moving on. The Devolution Index report was prepared by which institution? It was prepared by IIPA, okay, Indian Institute of Public Administration, and this report, it checks how much power and responsibility state governments give to panchayats, okay. So devolution implies a distribution, right? In our Finance Commission discussion the other day, we talked about vertical and horizontal devolution, meaning division of money or resources vertically between the center and the states and horizontally among the states. So this is devolution, simply implies devolution of something. So here we are talking about devolution of power. How much the state governments are giving, how much power the state governments are giving to the local panchayats or village councils in the tribal communities, right? And this this report, basically it helps to track how well decentralization is working in different states. We talk about the three-tier form of governance, right? In India, we have center at the top, states, and we have the village panchayats or village councils, like the village level. So this is prepared by the Indian Institute of Public Administration. Which state ranked first in the Panchayat Devolution Index of 2024? Which state? It was Karnataka. Okay. So many, if you look at some of the officers, okay, even our Naga officer Richard Yantan is also in Karnataka, right? So it is said that so many of the civil service aspirants or so, when they would be appearing interview, they have to fill up their DAF form, right? So in their DAF form, you give preferences, okay, Qatar. Firstly, you might give the preference for home Qatar, and you give other states preferences. So Karnataka states like Karnataka or the southern states, okay, but mostly Karnataka. So many people want to get Karnataka as a Qatar, like Qatar state, because like the governance in Karnataka, okay, the system of governance there, the system of industrialization, everything, it seems it's very good, and many people wants to work in Karnataka. Okay. According to the Future Brand Index 2024, which company, I'm just narrating the story so that it will help you remember about the governance, system of governance, how efficient it is in Karnataka, right? And it is not a wrong statement. It is a true story, okay? According to the Future Brand Index 2024, which company ranked as the top global brand? Which one?
Samsung.
It was Samsung. How many of you like Samsung? How many of you like Apple?
Samsung.
Samsung.
Cannot afford
Apple.
If you could afford Apple, will you take Apple or you will just stick with Samsung?
Apple.
because of Apple camera.
Samsung.
I have
Because
that's
camera is
something.
unbeatable.
Yeah, Samsung is manufactured, or it is like, from which country does Samsung come from?
Korea, South
Korea,
Korea.
South Korea.
South Korea, good. So I mean, like, I don't like Samsung phones though. I've never, liked Samsung phones. One time I bought when I was in class 8, no, not class 8. I mean, I was in class 12 or BA first year. I bought a Samsung phone and I sold it after 3 days, I guess, because I just did not like the user interface in Samsung.
Oh, rich boy.
Yeah. It's
No.
not
It
possible.
was just
No.
not about being a rich boy. It was like you buy it and you sell it, yeah, same price, at the same price after using it once. So it's like that. And the Apple though, the current
Nokia.
Apple Nokia was my first one. I had Nokia Supernova. It was a gift, and my dad had this Nokia 1100. Okay, first one. We got it from Guwahati, and then it was like way back, and it was so exciting. So Nokia will always stay as the first love.
Yes,
After
Nokia
Nokia,
was the choice.
yeah, first love after Nokia. But Nokia really messed things up, right? They tried with the Lumia, they tried with Windows, and they just, messed up. They could have just entered the Android market and then do very good, but they've messed it up. So now I believe if I were to go for Android, I will not go for Samsung. I will go for Google Pixel. So even my friend was using Google Pixel, my roommate in Delhi. So Google Pixel was so good. The AI in Google Pixel, right? It is amazing, very nice. So yeah, and Apple though that we are saying camera, but the new models of Apple, right, 16 and all, they are not good at all. What is 92? What is the primary objective of the digital brand identity manual launched by Ministry of Information and Technology? Ministry of Electronics, Information and Technology. Which one? Is it B or is it B or is it D?
B.
Standardize the digital presence of the government of India, right? So this DPIM, they try to make sure that all government websites and applications, whatever it is that is about the government, they try to make sure that they look very professional and consistent. Okay, like they should have the same logos, fonts, colors. Okay, so that citizens easily know that they are referring to a digital or government website. Like if you check up the Press Information Bureau website, or if you go to DRDO or ISRO or anything like that, the fonts that they would use, the government emblems or the logos that they will be using, apart from their own departmental logos, it will be more or less similar. And this is just to make sure that people will know that it is an official website and it is standardized. But also there are scams that have also come about. Okay, so scammers, they try to make certain different kinds of websites. Okay, just like similar, which is very similar to the official websites and all as well. And they try to take in information by the people even fill up their exam forms in this regard. They will even pay in those portals, and it will lead to losses as well. So cybersecurity, like all of these are very important topics as well. What is the key feature of the 2025 edition of the International Classification of Diseases by WHO? Which one? Is it? Yes, I believe we have discussed about this as well. This is about traditional medicine. So which one will be the answer?
B.
B.
It's about the B, right? So it includes traditional medicine systems like Ayurveda, Sitya, and Unani. Okay, so see, these traditional healing systems, they are now officially recognized in WHO's medical classification system. Okay, and it is simply showing that there is global respect for these ancient practices. And I'm saying ancient because Ayurveda, if we look at Ayurveda, it originated in India around 3,000 years ago, right? And if we are looking at Unani, this is not originated in India, but it came from Greece, right? It came from Greece, and it was developed further by the Arabians and in the Persian lands, and it was later brought to India by the traders only. So that is Unani. And when you're talking about Cynthia, this was practiced in Tamil Nadu, South Indian side. Okay, and then they are also believed to be around more than 2,000 years old. And this is based on the idea of 5 basic elements, which I've also discussed. What are the 5 basic elements that this CTF focuses on? It is earth. What were they? Earth, water, fire, air, and space. Okay, these are the 5 elements that CTAP focuses on. And if you're looking at Ayurveda, they focus on 3 core. I told you, right, in our classes as well, doshas. It's good to remember these things as well. It will be important for your ancient history. Okay, doshas. We call it air, fire, and water. But we have different terms for it, right? Like I think air was vata, pitta, and kapha. Easy to remember. Vata, pitta, and kapha. 3 elements. And what about unani? Unani, we also talked in our class. Okay, it is about the 4 fluids, right? That maintains balance in our body, and the fluids are called humors, right? Humors. We talked about blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. And according to Unani, right, Unani practices, it is said that every disease in the human body is caused because of the imbalance of these four fluids. And so these practices have been, recognized by WHO, and they have been added to the International Classification of Diseases, ICD. Okay, so these are important to know, information and knowledge. As per the 2025 Forbes Women Billionaire list, who is the richest women in the world?
Alice Walton.
Alice Walton, correct. Alice Walton is the richest woman in the world. Who is the richest man in the world?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Good. Who is the owner of Walmart? Warren Buffett, right? I think he stepped down as the chief managing director or so, like after years and years. I don't know. Okay. So, according to the Time Use survey, what percentage of males participated in employment? This is something I wouldn't know. What about you guys? Help me out here. C. Okay, great. If it is about numbers or so, I think I'll be a bit weak in that, so you guys have to help me out, okay? And then, what is the projected GDP of India by 2047? Viksit Bharat ka times pe projected GDP. What is India expecting to have as per the NASSCOM Payan report? So it is 23 to 35 trillion. Okay. So this report, it projects India's GDP to reach between this much by 2047. And this GDP growth, according to them, would be driven by a sustained annual growth, okay, from now by around 8 to 10% every year. Okay. And this would be from significant contributions, especially from the services and the manufacturing sectors. So they are saying that the service and the manufacturing sector would be booming, and this will lead to a sustained annual growth of GDP every year by 8 to 10% till it reaches to 23 to 35 trillion US dollars by 2045. According to the Indus Valley report, which country led the world in initial public offerings in 2024? What is it?
India.
India, correct. We have and this is a hint as well, because we talked about India being the hotspot for startups, and a lot of unicorns have also been formed in India. And when you're talking about initial public offerings, do you watch Shark Tank? Sometimes.
Yes.
Vito, or John? Acha, John, Vito, you guys watch. What about the rest? What about the girls? Okay, so Shark Tank. Acha, Shark Tank, I know it's good entertainment actually. And then if you're watching Shark Tank, you will also learn a lot about how market works, how all of these topics, they explain it well. Like they just take few seconds, 10, 20 seconds to speak about initial public offerings and different terminologies that are related to the marketing, that are related to marketing or economics as well. So when a company has started up, this is the first time they sell the shares of their company, right? And this is how their valuation is actually done. So India rises at the top here, okay, in 2024, and the data given was 19.5 billion US dollars, which accounted for 23% of all public issues worldwide. Okay, issues of initial public offerings. I'm talking about that. Who is the only Indian woman included in the Time magazine's Women of the Year list?
B.
Is it Kiran Mazumdar or Purnima Devi Parman?
Purnima.
Okay. Yes, I was confused because Purnima, she is from Assam only, right? She is a biologist from Assam.
It's
Yes, and she is the leader of an army. What was it? Something. Yeah, so it was Purnima. She's from Assam, a biologist. And who is the Indian woman included in? Okay, just leave that aside now. According to the India's Graduate Skill Index 2025 report, which job roles have the highest employability among Indian graduates? Which one?
B.
Artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, good. So this 2025 report in text, right? It is published by Mercer and Metal. Okay, so I'm a bit familiar with this company because one colleague of mine, he was from Delhi only, Anurag. We were working in Wipro together, and he shifted to Mercer, and it was a very good company. He still would send me pictures of their workplace, and it was so nice. Okay, so yes, according to their in-text, it is the artificial intelligence and the machine learning which will have the highest employability among Indian graduates. Okay, and then it highlights that 46.1% of Indian graduates are employable in AI and machine learning roles. Okay, and now moving on, we have okay, what is the overall employability rate of Indian graduates? Was it 46? 42.6, right? Overall employability rate of Indian
Yes.
graduates as per the India's graduates. Yes, it is 42.6. Do not stress much on trying to remember these things on the how much percentage or as well. Do not eat up your brain in this. Okay, if you can remember, it's okay. But if you can't, know that there are 200 questions, and if you miss out, these things will be around 3 to 4 questions. Even if you miss out on that, you will have at least 195 questions to attempt. Okay, and if you're scoring at least 120 plus or so, you are on a very good safe side, I believe, or 131 or 40. So you have the scope to at least make mistakes or not even attempt like 50 questions now. So it's okay. That's how I console myself. But if you can remember, well and good, okay? Because all this percentages and all, we will be studying it till September at least, because November will be your prelims. Most probably. So September though, you have to have some datas or have some knowledge, right? Under the Pikashita Gaon Pikashita Odisha scheme, how much budget has the Odisha government allocated? So I don't think these kind of questions, how much budget, how much percentage, is of much importance. So do not eat up your brain in this. The answer is 1,000 crore if you look at it, but do not worry about this. Okay, you still have other questions that you can attempt. The Skill India program SIP has been restructured and will continue till which year?
2026.
Yes, the Union Cabinet has approved that the continuation of the Skill India program will be till 2026, and the outlay of around how much crore also it was mentioned, but I also have missed out on that, around 8,000 crore, I believe. Okay, how many new courses have been introduced under Prime Minister, what was it, PM KVY 4.0 for emerging technologies? Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Okay, we discuss it. How much? How
I
many
think
new
B.
courses? Is it B or C? C or
C.
B? C, it is C.
B.
400 plus, right? Yes, it is 400 plus. Over 400 new courses they have been added under this Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana, like fields like artificial intelligence, 5G, cybersecurity, green hydrogen, drones, or sustainability. All of this have been added here in this regard. And this is a skill development scheme of the government of India. So please remember this, please. Okay, Prime Minister Kaushal Vikas Yojana. Kaushal means skill, Vikas means development, right? So this is about skill enhancement and skill development. Skill India program is also there, but all these are very important. Like, and this offers short-term skill training to the unemployed youth and school or college dropouts in general, right? And the goal is to make people job ready, okay? Job ready with industry relevant skills. What is the stipend percentage provided under PM and NPS?
15. B.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Is it 15 or 25? Please check once. Okay, it is 25. Okay. So PM NAPS stands for National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme, right? National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme. And this scheme, okay, it encourages the companies to hire apprentices or interns or trainees by offering them financial support, okay? By offering financial support to the companies, this scheme is, it encourages companies to hire trainees. so that it helps the young people get hands-on experience in real working environments, right, before they actually enter into the job market. So apprenticeship, internship, traineeship, all of these are very important, okay? And this is under the PM NAPS program, National Apprenticeship Promotion Scheme. And the Swava-Lambini Women's Entrepreneurship Program has been launched for which state?
E. Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram.
Perfect. Assam, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. So this Swava-Lambini, this is, as we have discussed also, it was launched this year only, and it was to particularly encourage entrepreneurship among women students in the Northeast. And it focuses on students in higher education, like school, colleges, and universities. Okay. And this is launched by which ministry? We have also discussed that it is launched by the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship along with Niti Aayog. Okay. And it has initially started in Assam, Meghalaya, and Mizoram. Okay. WISE Kiran, we have talked about this also. Scheme supports which category of individuals? WISE Kiran, let me tell you, the WISE means women in science and engineering, right? Women in science and engineering. Kiran means knowledge involvement in research advancement through nurturing. So what does it focus on? On which category?
A.
A, correct. Women in scientific careers, right? This is a scheme by the Department of Science and Technology, okay, in order to encourage women in scientific careers, okay? Women in the STEM field, in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Under which initiative under WISE Kiran aims to encourage girls in STEM education? Which one?
C,
Vigyan.
maybe.
Yes, Vigyan Jyoti. Correct. WISE PDF, WISE PhD. This is just made up from the question itself. You will understand. So Vigyan Jyoti, it stands like this. Seems legit as well. So it is basically to encourage the girls in from class 9 to 12, right, to take up STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. And this is run under the WISE Kiran only. Okay, remember this, which stands for Women in Science and Engineering. WISE, Women in Science and Engineering, and Kiran stands for knowledge involvement in research and research advancement through nurturing. Okay, through nurturing. Vigyan Jyoti. Okay, moving on. The PM Asha scheme supports which sector in India?
Voucher.
Is it agriculture or is it healthcare?
Agriculture, I think. Maybe. Not sure.
Yes, correct. It is agriculture. Okay, yes, it is agriculture only. PM Asha, it stands for Pradhan Mantri Annadatta Ay Sanrakshan Abhiyan. Right, I tried to pronounce this. I was practicing this pronunciation even in our last class as well. Annadatta Ay Sanrakshan Abhiyan. Right, and this is helping the farmers make sure that they get a minimum support price. Okay, minimum support price for different crops like pulses, oilseeds, and these kind of crops. Okay, and it has three parts that we discussed also. The first part was price support scheme. The second one was PDPS, price deficiency payment scheme, and the third one was price procurement and stockist scheme. Right, PSS, where government buys crops at MSP, market minimum standard price, right, for remunerative prices for the farmers. And PDPS, price deficiency payment scheme, if suppose the market price is less than the MSP, the farmers will get will get this differential amount. Okay, and then private procurement and stockist scheme, it encourages the private players, right, the different companies, private companies, and all to buy the products from the consumers, from the farmers at MSP only. And this is basically to protect the farmers and come in, stop them from this distress selling, right? We have this concept known as distress selling, when the farmers feel that they will not be able to sell their goods, or even the middlemen will pressure them that there is no market for your products. So just sell it for 5 rupees per kilo or so. just like that, right? So they will be scared, the farmers, with lack of information, lack of, even they will not be able to go to huge markets and sell it. They don't have any connections, so they will be resorting to distress sale. So words like this you can use. Okay, every single time we talk about this Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana, this is important. These kind of data are important because it is there in the policy statement or in the initial launch of this mission. So what is it? PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana aims to install how many rooftop solar systems?
C.
1 crore. Exactly. So these kind of data, there's no other option but to remember it, okay? Remember it because it is the basic data. This is launched in 2024, as we all know, and it seek to promote rooftop solar powers for homes. And the basic aim is to install like 1 crore or 10 million rooftop solar systems all over India. And what the family will be getting is they will be getting free or subsidized electricity up to 300 units per month by using solar power, okay? And it will help reduce electricity bills, and ultimately it is promoting clean energy. Note that. Ultimately, promotion of clean energy. Rooftop solar installation. Solar panels, yes. Which state has the highest number of rooftops households benefiting under the PM Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana?
Gujarat.
Gujarat, correct. Gujarat. Okay, now the Anusandhan National Research Foundation launched which grant for senior citizens? We talked about this also.
B.
Correct. JC Bose grant, right? JC Bose grant in order to support senior Indian scientists for continuing their quality research, not giving up. And it was a stipend amount of 25 lakh for per year for the research. Okay, now PM Kisan scheme recently released its 19th installment benefiting how many farmers? Okay, it is for 9.8 crore. Okay, and then PM Kisan, what is this scheme? Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, right? Nidhi. Kisan, farmers. Samman means giving respect. So basically, it is about giving required respect to the farmers. This was launched in the year 2019, as we all know, and their basic aim is to provide 6,000 rupees per year to eligible farmers in 3 installments, 2,000 rupees each, right? And this is basically to help the small farmers with certain basic monetary needs for buying fertilizers or seeds, etc. Right? And this 19th installment of the PM Kisan scheme, after it was launched in 2019, it has been dispersed to 9.8 crore individuals. So how many financial assistance was distributed under the 19th installment of PM Kisan? 22,000 crore, right? And this was, what kind of a transfer it is? I keep mentioning about the kind of transfer.
DPT.
Yes, DPT, direct benefit transfers, right? Where the funds are directly transferred to the farmer's bank's account using this method, direct benefit transfer, which will ensure transparency and quick delivery of the funds, right? The farmers they are promised that they will get the fund, but if it is not to their bank account, it will be dispersed through the VDP or the village council or whatever it is. And instead of 2,000, they might just get 800 rupees or so. The farmers wouldn't even know how to protest to it or how to do anything. So through DPT, just by linking their Aadhaar and their bank accounts, they will be getting their money, ensuring transparency. The actual amount without any seepages of the amount, they will get the money, right? And on time. Under PMAY Gramin, okay, how many houses are planned to be allocated by 2009? What does PMAY stand for? Let me ask this question instead. The answer here, yes?
Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
Yes, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana. What is it for?
To build a house.
Yeah, build house or give pakka houses, right? The word you can use is pakka houses. And Gramin, one is Gramin and one is the other one. Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, we have two, right? Two types. One is urban and one is Gramin. Gramin for the rural areas, one is for the urban areas. Okay? Now, which ministry launched the Desh Ka Prakriti Pariksha Abhiyan?
B.
Ministry of Ayush. Good, correct. So this is basically about, we talked about Prakriti as well. So this Prakriti is all about it is about the balance, right, human of our body. Knowing Prakriti means body type. We also talked about this. Every person is different and unique, and depending on this, there should be personalized care for everyone. This is launched by the Ministry of Ayush here, and under it by the National Commission for NCS, was it NCSIM or NCISM, I believe, yes, NCISM. So this is the National Commission for Indian System of Medicine, okay? And this campaign, this Desh Ka Prakriti Pariksha Abhiyan, so this involves like so many trained volunteers that are conducting different assessments or surveys to help individuals understand their unique mind-body constitution, or Prakriti, okay? The unique mind-body constitution. Unique mind-body constitution. What was the major achievement of Desh Ka Prakriti Pariksha Abhiyan? We talked about this also. It set
B.
5 Guinness World Records, correct? It set 5 Guinness World Record. One record was for the health campaign, like most pledges, people give pledges, right? So in Nagaland, one very famous pledge was the True Love Weights pledge. How many of you signed the True Love Weights? Vito, did you sign?
Vito for sure.
True Love Weights. True Love Weights, you pledges. So, huh?
Like,
Acha, you were saying something?
I think Vito does not.
So it's like, see, in 1 week, the most number of pledges that were given for a health campaign, this was for one record, and one record was for most pledges received for a health campaign in 1 month, and most pledges received for an overall health campaign, and largest online photo album of people displaying a digital certificate. Like that was also one record, and largest online video album of people saying the same sentence. They were all declaring a same slogan. So this was the 5 Guinness World Records that was received by Desh Ka Prakriti Pariksha Abhiyan. PM Surya. Someone is saying something. I'm just gonna meet you now. Okay, so PM Suryakar Muft Bijli Yojana has an outlay of how much?
75,021.
Very good. Exactly 75,021 crore. And what is the Muft Bijli Yojana? If I ask again.
rooftop.
Very good. Rooftop solar panels. Don't just say rooftop, okay? Rooftop solar panels. Yes. So we have the Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutes, the Gati initiative, focuses on gender equity in which fields?
STEM.
STEM. One is STEM, and if we add medicine to it, we get it double M, right? So this Gender Advancement for Transforming Institutions, it is to promote gender equity in STEM disciplines in higher education and research institutions in India. Under PMKVY, there's Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana only that we talked about. What is the target age group for skill development training?
B.
15 to, is it 15 to 45 or 15 to 59?
15 to
59.
59, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's 15 to 59. Okay, now moving on. The Pradhan Mantri Annata Aay Surakshan Abhiyan includes which key component?
ESF.
The key component. PSF, Price Stabilization Fund, okay, giving of MSP and all, etc. IIT Indore, in collaboration with MEITI, launched which AI-powered initiative for agriculture? Which one?
Greenhouse.
AgriHub, right? We also talked about this as well. What is the name of India's first indigenous automated biomedical waste treatment plant? What was it called?
B.
Is it Srajanam or is it, yes, Srajanam only, Indian name it was. I can't remember the entire name, okay, but I remember that it was Srajanam or something in Indian term only. Okay, so that is the answer. Where is it? Srajanam. Okay, just leave it for now. Which organization developed the Srajanam biomedical waste treatment rig? What was it?
Dear,
Was it DRDO or CSIR and IIST? A, B, or C?
C.
Correct. It was CSIR and IIST. Okay, the Sri Janam Biomedical Waste Treatment Rig. We discussed about this also. Researchers from CNS developed smart windows that change color. We talked about this, right? Without external power by indicating which battery type. What was the battery type that would be used? Was it lithium ion or zinc ion battery?
C.
C. It was zinc ion battery, right? I discussed that also as well. Which IIT collaborated with ISRO to develop the indigenous semiconductor chip known as IRIS? What was it? Was it IIT Madras or IIT Delhi? Madras, okay? What is the IRIS chip based on? We talked about this as well. It is basically based on,
D.
yes, RISC-V architecture. Okay, I'm not going towards the detail right now. The first detailed map of the South Moon. See, Srajanam, we discussed here, okay? Srajanam, CSIR, and IIT. South Moon, South Pole. So, what is the answer? Was created using data from which mission? Chandrayaan 1, 2, 3, or 4? Gaganyaan. Okay, see, Chandrayaan 3. Chandrayaan 2, the Vikram lander was launched, but okay. Which research institutions contributed to mapping of the Moon South Pole using Chandrayaan 3 data? Which research institutions contributed?
C.
C, the PRL Ahmedabad, Punjab University, and ISRO. Okay. What scientific discovery was made at the Chandrayaan 3 Vikram lander site? Presence of ice, cold deposits, magma, microbial life. Which one? You might be confused between these two. Subsurface magma or presence of ice? Didn't I show you a figure like this?
C.
C, right? Remember this. This is subsurface magma, right? The moon was once covered by an ocean of molten rock. Data from India's space mission suggests, right? Correct, guys? Okay, the Innovate with Government of India Stats Hackathon is organized by which ministry?
MOSPI.
Yes, MOSPI. What is the theme of the Innovate with Government of India Stats Hackathon? I also told you that even the themes are important, right?
Viksit Bharat.
Viksit Bharat? Viksit Bharat, it can be Viksit Bharat at the end, but Viksit Sustainable Development Goals, right? This or data-driven insights for, okay, wait. Data-driven insights for Viksit Bharat. Is it this one?
C.
Yes, see,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. Okay, you're correct. The naval anti-ship missile was successfully tested from which type of platform? We talked about this as well. Which helicopter was it? I remember it. Do you remember?
Yes.
Correct. Tell me. Naval anti-ship missile seeking helicopter, right?
Yes.
Yes. Researchers at CNS developed an innovative method to stabilize. I'm not discussing this in detail because it is just about facts, right? We talk about this as well. To stabilize which type of perovskite nanocrystals? So this might be a bit difficult to remember sometimes, but it is this one, okay? Perovskite nanocrystals, okay? Which country recently launched the ChinaSat 10R communication satellite?
China.
China. The name itself is ChinaSat then our communication satellite, right? But if it is sometimes Pakistan said, then our satellite also, Pakistan doesn't launch their satellites normally on their own. So it might be even China. So we have to be clear at times, not very confident in that. Okay, which launch vehicle was used to send the ChinaSat 10R satellite into orbit? Yes, 3B. Long March, 3B. India's total exports in 2024-25 reached this much, marking a significant increase from 20 in the last decade. What was the percentage increase? Did we talk about this as well? Yes, I remember talking about this as well. Okay, very clearly. We have the data written here. Okay, just leave it. So what was it? Percentage is, like I've mentioned, I don't know, not much of importance, but 67%. Which region was the top destination for India's exports in 2023 to 24?
North America.
North America, correct. And in North America, USA is the top destination. We talked about how we are exporting our different kinds of products here. Which country was India's largest merchandise export destination in 2023 to 24? USA, okay. India's mobile phone exports reached this much. What was the export value? US, this much, right? The Bharat Cancer Genome Atlas, okay, was launched to enhance cancer research in India. Which IIT is involved in this initiative? IIT Madras. So many of the questions or initiatives have been through the IIT Madras only, right? Okay, let's complete till 150. Okay, if required, tomorrow maybe for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, if we can meet up, or you can watch the recording also. Let's see what our online manager will say, because we don't want to leave this also halfway. That's why I'm thinking. But the rest of the questions here, they are mostly straight answers. So if you want me, see, if I'm like, who won the BCC Indian Sports Person of the Year award? So the answer, what is the answer? It is Manu Bhaker, right? So I don't know what I can explain here, right, in these kind of questions. So that is the reason why. So if it is required, okay, I'll take a vote at the end of the class. Please wait. Let's just complete till 150 at least, okay? Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs signed an MOU with which organization to strengthen India's carbon markets? What was it? Which organization was it? Yes, it was Carbon Market Association of India. The recent discussions. National Career Service Portal is managed by which ministry? 142. Ministry of Labor and Employment. Right, we talked about this as well. Which organization signed an MOU with the Ministry of Labor and Employment to provide 10 lakh job opportunities annually? Which was it? Is it Apna or is it Naukri.com? Apna, okay? Apna signed an MOU with the Ministry of Labor and Labor and Employment, right? And they say that this Apna will use data from the NCS portal, right, in order to connect employers with employees. The digital public platform for the water and sanitation and hygiene sector is being developed under an MOU between Arkiam and which institution? What was it? It was the long name, right? We remember. I can't remember the entire thing, but I remember that it was a very long name. Okay, Dr. Siam, this one, okay? The Ministry of Defense signed a contract with PEL, okay, which is in Maharatna or Navratna, was it, for the procurement of which communication equipment for the Indian Coast Guard. Remember? We talked about FM signal. We talked about how efficiently they can switch the signals, AM. Software-defined radios, SDR, right? We also talked about how it is indigenously developed, right? Which government body signed an MOU with IIT Madras to enhance sustainability audit skill set and cybersecurity auditing? Which one?
EAG.
Okay, it's here only. CAG, right? Comptroller and Auditor General of India. These are straight up questions. The Solar Energy Corporation of India has partnered with which state government to set up a 200 megawatt solar project and a 1,000 megawatt battery storage project? Which one is it? Madhya Pradesh, right? The Adopt a Heritage 2.0 program is associated with which government body?
ASI.
Yes. Wait, is it ASI or is it National Monuments Authority?
B.
Yes, it is Archaeological Survey of India, and it requests certain corporate organizations under their corporate social responsibility (CSR) to adopt a monument, and it was some MOU that was signed between ASI and Billionaire. So the next question is C. Which corporate entity has partnered with ASI to restore and conserve historic water bodies in heritage sites across India? Which one? Billionaire International, right? The Department of Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, DPIT, signed an MOU with which company to support manufacturing and financial technology startups? Which one was it? We talked about this. Was it Paytm or Google?
C.
PTM.
Paytm. What is the parent organization of Paytm? One. What was it? Parent organization of Paytm? What was it?
No idea, sir.
We also discussed 197, right? 197 Communications. This is the parent body of Paytm, okay? So, okay. Remaining 50 questions. Mostly easy. What should we do?
Monday.
No, not Monday. Monday, so we have to start from April magazine. Tomorrow?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
We will see, okay? We will see. But if it's there, please join, okay? I don't want
Yes,
to be the
sir.
only one in the class, okay? Let's
Yes.
see tomorrow. Chalo.
Will be there.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
sir.
And we can talk about some other important things that are going on. It will be an interesting class if we all join, okay? Chalo,
Yes.
thank you everyone. Good night. See you tomorrow.
Also.
All right. Chalo.